The following takes place between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m.
But you didn't laugh at me.
And Richmond is writing here, you said that last week.
I didn't say that last week.
Yes, he did.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't say that one last week.
No. You said you were going to let me do it last week. That's right.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's okay.
Whatever. You weren't prepared. A
There you
big
go.
thank you to Domino's Pizza for a beautiful pizza today. You and I with the pizza pie. And your favorite, the cinema sticks.
Yeah, that was great.
So good. And our good friends at the Marley location at 416-785-5400.
Yep.
And just once again, 416-785-5400. Call them up. Walk in. Great specials, 2 for 1. And if you mention Animal House Radio, they will give you 10% off on the spot. Right there. So Animal House Radio, they say 10% off. It could just mean an extra something. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to be talking to Molly. And we're going to be talking about, can you afford a pet? Can you not afford a pet? Back on Animal House Radio. Back on Animal House Radio. Just got confirmation of something that I always thought about. Mike just confirmed it. See, Mike, I trick people into saying stuff and admitting certain things. That's what I do as a marketer. And you, my friend, I just tricked you into something and you admitted it.
Okie dokie.
Well, now you're getting all insecure.
Shall we talk about the future topic?
See, look at him.
No, I'm just not going there on the air. Let's go.
Okay, fine. I'll leave it out. I've left it out. Let's talk about the future topic. Can you afford a pet? Can you not afford a pet? What type of person are you? Is there a monetary value on a pet? Is there an emotional value on a pet? But let's talk in terms of monetary value.
Well, the reason why I chose that topic is because pretty well every week I come across pet owners who are asked to give certain treatments to their dogs or pets or cats. Cats or dogs, doesn't really matter in this scenario because I see it in both sides. And, you know, nothing is more frustrating than a limping dog that comes in with an owner that drives a convertible Mercedes and has a rock the size of Mount St. Helens on her finger and, has a BlackBerry. And you go to do a $90 x-ray or recommend a $90 x-ray and they decline it. And I always think, you know what? I have absolutely no problem with that. Just don't have a dog if that's not what you want to do. So for those of you who are out there that own pets, if you don't love them enough to treat them like children, that's fine. Just don't have them. So I think we call it in the veterinary world responsible pet ownership. So if you can't afford to have a dog, that's fine. You get them on insurance. Everybody can afford insurance for their pet. It's a monthly fee that you budget for. No different than you'd budget for fire insurance for your home or car insurance for your car. You budget for stuff. If you can't afford it, great. But there are a lot of people who can afford it and still don't want to spend it on their dogs when they're sick. And I got to tell you, it's probably the most frustrating thing I come across every day is having owners declining procedures for their dogs that they can easily afford, and it's all about I just don't want to spend the money. And I stop and think, wow, if you just don't love a pet, then don't have it.
Do you think there's a correlation between the fact that people are used to not paying for medical treatment in Canada, and but in the United States, people probably do pay more money to their vets because they realize they have to
you
pay
hit
for
the nail on the
healthcare
head
in
on
general?
one second. Sure, that's. I got to think that's part of it. I mean, in my book, what I think OHIP should do is say, yeah, thank you for your night stay at the hospital. That was $600, and that ultrasound was $8,000, and that cardiac surgery was $25,000. And by the way, OHIP is covering that for you.
Why don't we call it PHIP?
Thank you very much.
Or AHIP?
What do you mean? Okay,
I don't know.
I don't know where you're going with
An
that.
acronym for...
Oh. But anyway, it's just one of those things where you're right. No one knows what healthcare costs, so everybody just assumes, and I try to explain to people that, a good x-ray machine is $60,000, and you can't charge $5 for an x-ray, and yet $1.28 for Tim Hortons coffee is perfectly fine. So, I stop and I think there are so many people that aren't willing, for instance, to feed their dog a decent food. They'll go to the supermarket and buy the cheapest $4 bag of pet food, think they're doing right by their dog, when in fact they're spending more money at Tim Hortons every day.
But look at as a devil's advocate,
Yeah.
my dog, for instance, doesn't pay any rent,
Yeah.
doesn't pay hydro,
Right.
doesn't pay for cable,
Right.
doesn't pay for heating,
Yeah.
doesn't
Good point.
pay for food.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be so picky.
Is he picky?
No, he'll eat anything.
That's what I thought. When's
Yeah.
Romeo picky?
Yeah.
Anyway,
he can't be picky.
So I truly urge anybody out there who's thinking about getting a new kitten or a new puppy. You know, people go to these flea markets and they get these puppies for $25 or kittens for free. And it is so frustrating that they don't appreciate the fact that they need 3 sets of shots. They need to be fixed. They need good quality food. And that costs money. And I just hope that whoever's listening out there that is just listening because they sort of love animals or are thinking about getting one, or they have one right now, is that if you don't think about those costs, and you know what, I love talking to people about what they can expect with a pet. I mean, when people call me and say, you know, I'm thinking of a dog, what do you recommend? That just I love that because they want to do the right thing. And I would, you know, that talk is free. I will talk to anybody who wants to talk about, you know, how can I make it affordable for me to have a pet? And you can work it out. So it's just something that people have to be aware of that I don't think they are. So, I mean, when you got Romeo, I mean, did you think, oh, he's going to need this, 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 and this?
I was probably the most irresponsible person. I didn't think of anything.
Right.
I just thought of...
That's fine. And there's a lot of people like that. And that doesn't make you bad. It just means that you weren't thinking about it.
I wasn't thinking about it. I knew there'd be costs. I just didn't know how much money it was going to cost me.
Right.
Every year I'm like, oh, I got to take him to the vet again. Oh.
But you know what? It's not, to be honest with you, maintaining a dog is cheap.
I didn't prepare myself,
right.
You know, but to have an animal is like having a child.
Right. But once a dog or a cat is an adult animal, once you've gone through all the sets of puppy and kitten shots and once you've had them fixed, to maintain a dog, in my mind, is cheap. You know, you can maintain, right? You know what I mean? For the yearly shots and stuff, it's really inexpensive. Most people can easily afford that. And to feed the dog, that's all easy stuff. What I find people don't think about is, hey, it's no different than, you know, you buy a BMW, you spend every last dime buying the car, you know it's going to cost you this much insurance, and then boom, all of a sudden you get a flat tire and it's $400 for a tire, and nobody ever thinks about those sort of expenses.
Yeah. It's like buying a computer saying, wow, I got the greatest computer in the world, but hey, you got to sign up for the internet.
Yeah.
And you got to pay those bills.
Yeah.
And you got to pay for a good antivirus.
Yeah, all these things, exactly. And
So
the problem is when people are selling you the computer, they should be telling you, by the way, just so you know, when you cut home with your computer, you're going to need this.
Great example would be going to the store, getting a big HD TV, bring it home like, yeah! Oh, but sorry, sir, you can't get the programming in high definition unless you have, a high-def box. Okay, I'm going to go get a high-def box, and you spend $500 on a high-def box. You're like, yeah! And then I still don't get it. Oh, but in order to have the programming on the high-def box with the TV, you have to subscribe and pay an extra $14 a month to have that. You're like, yeah! And then it's like, well, how come the picture isn't that great? Well, in order to get a really great picture with the box, with the programming, you have to go get an HDMI wire. It's like, $100 later, yeah! And it's just, you know what? I just wanted a TV.
Yeah, I know.
But if you were responsible enough and did the research
right
beforehand, you knew that all these things cost
and
are going to occur. And probably, I would think probably the first 2 years of an animal's life is probably the most expensive.
Absolutely. Would totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
and then the last 2 years are probably the same. When they get older, people need to realize that, like us, we age, they age, and we all end up in hospitals as we get older. So do they, and you got to be prepared for that. If you don't go on insurance,
I'm going out of my house, baby.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I gotta go sit in a hospital.
All right.
No way.
There you go.
I'm not doing that. But we're gonna talk more about that afterwards. But for our product review of the week this week. I was showing this to you before, and you were just like, just amazing. That's how you said it, exactly like that, too.
Yeah, that's what I said.
So the company, I'm going to tell you this, is the company is called Molly Mutt, and go to mollymutt.com, and Molly has created this really, really, really cool, how do you describe this once again? Like a dog bed duvet. When I think of a duvet, I think of a duvet cover for my bedroom, which is extremely comfortable. And I always said to myself, how can we do that and have it for an animal?